Yes, hello everyone. Hello, and we are
Hello.
back. Hi Jale, hi Niro, how are you?
Hi, hi Jamal. Hi. How
Niro,
are
you are
you?
muted. Fine, thank you. Jale,
Oh,
Fine.
am I?
fine.
How are you?
Oh, hi.
Right. Yes, today we have a special guest, right? Like what's writing there? We have troubling streaming to Facebook. Okay, they have troubling to streaming Facebook. It is no
Oh,
problem because every time on Facebook they say that they are like blocking because of some rights or something like even the start sound is problem for them. This is from StreamYard actually, so I don't know. But in any case, I was looking forward to have Hassan Abdullah. He's the man behind the Arabic translated memes. I think more than a year I was waiting to have him. For some reasons we couldn't, and today we will have him. I just want to show quickly first of to all the web page of ex-Muslim memes. This is name is Arabic translated memes, and it is in the description of this video. You can visit exmuslimmemes.com, or and you can go to Instagram. There is add Arabic translated memes page, but the problem is with this page, he have to keep Instagram page private because of many times they have deactivated his page. So because of some Muslim, we call them internet jihadists, reporting all the memes. But you can visit the other one. I can show this there, and this is the from uh, Instagram page, his Instagram page. Yes. Okay, and I don't want to let him wait us, so we have to let him join us. There.
Hello.
Hello.
hello. So nice to have you, Hassan.
Hi.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
First, I have to say you are amazing. You are doing incredibly important work. Your memes are a lot of knowledge about Islamic topics, and with humor. I'm
Yes.
laughing.
Yes.
I get sad, but in the same time we are learning, and Muslims are learning.
Yes.
You are seeding doubts in the minds of especially Muslims, and all other people too. And your memes makes them questioning, and your memes make them like reconsidering their beliefs. It forced them to go and research their belief, because I know the majority of Muslims, uh, just because they are born in a Muslim family, and
Mhm.
they have blind faith. I was
Yes.
one of them, and it is really difficult to give some Muslim believers one critical book. Hey guy, read this book and tell me what you think. No, it's not possible. Almost it's haram to
Yes.
Yeah.
read critical book. Yes.
I'm also a very big fan, and I think also with humor we get the furthest with people, right? No matter even what the topic is, but especially with Islam, it's
Hello.
such a hard. Hello. It's such a hard topic to be working with, so humor is so needed in our
Yes.
field of work. Yeah, that was
True.
my.
So you
Absolutely.
are welcome, and we appreciate so much to your work, and thank you for coming here. And let's begin. And can you talk about yourself a little bit, and your journey? Uh,
Thank
who is Arabic translated memes? Who is Hassan?
thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Kemal. Thank you, Jalis. Thank you, Nirkon, for bringing me to your stream. I've been really looking forward to it, and sorry for that delay. Kemal asked me over a year ago, and I told him I have to wait for the right time. So, who is the Arabic translated meme? Arabic translated meme is an Arab born in the Middle East to two Arab parents, grew up in an environment that was reasonably liberal, but over time became radicalized and started diving into the extremist aspects of Islam. And I strongly believed and researched, and my faith was very much firm in Islam. I think my only step back and stopping me from going further into the Islamist way of fundamentalism, especially the Wahhabi aspect of it, is studying. Is that I put my study first, and I was having my own personal struggles, financial and otherwise. But as I put my education first and I excelled, I saw that as my second jihad, because you have that aspect of helping people to believe in Islam and through education. So I went on to do my degree, master's, and even my PhD. It's not Islamic related per se, but it's still research related. At some point in my life, I started having some doubts, and one key of that was to see certain memes on Facebook, published by, at the time, of course, in Arabic, by the Tunisian atheists, who their page has closed since, but they posted some really hard-hitting memes that made me think, how could our prophet marry a 6-year-old? I knew Aisha was young. I never actually asked the age. He just knew she was a child, but 6 was just far too young. Hearing that it was allowed to take women as slaves, as war bounty, as if they're like cattle or camels. So it's just these little pictures just shook my conscience and made me think, you know what, I need to go and stop trying to make excuses and research Islam properly. Of course, this is probably one of the things that they taught us indirectly at school not to do. They taught us to just accept Islam as it is, but never try to challenge it critically. Never try to put it against logic, against morals. To put it against, to assess it in that way was almost haram. Not almost, it was haram. But I decided I'm better than this. I'm going to challenge this and see. And the more I researched, the more I fell out. And it is falling out of the best dream you ever had. It's the dream you thought it's just few things you do in your life, and you make mistakes. You go to Mecca and you do the Hajj, and Allah will forgive you everything. But one day after this short life, you have this beautiful dream of walking to heaven and seeing all these prophets and saying hello to Moses and hello to Isa, and seeing the beautiful face of Muhammad, which, by the way, I had a dream of him incidentally as a teenager. And maybe that was the sign of things that are coming, because I saw an short Arab man that was insignificant, but supposedly was the prophet. I tried to ask him a question. He wasn't interested to answer me. So, anyway, but it was the dream. And naturally, like many ex-Muslims, we struggle with mental health afterwards. I wouldn't say I went into depression. I just couldn't handle it, and decided to continue my research. And I kept going in and out and in and out. Like, you kind of think, maybe I'm just not getting it right. Maybe my human brain can't process it. Eventually, I think when the war in Syria came around and we saw ISIS behaving exactly as, or at least I saw it exactly as I read it in the Quran and in the Hadith, and everyone can say, oh, they don't represent Islam. Like, no, they do. And when you see it in front of you, you see them selling Yazidi women and babies, girls, and you can't help and think, this is how it happened. And we're just seeing it in 20 20th century in Samin. This is 21st century. This is how it happened in the 14th century. But somehow when you see it, it changes everything. And I think this is why I decided to start doing my contribution, as limited as I felt at the time was, is when I looked at what is being shared online about Islam by atheists and liberal pages. There was literally nothing. It was all very generic about, the different prophets and stuff like that, but never about Muhammad or Islam. And the few that were quite, disgusting, especially the ones coming from parts of Asia where it has a pig giving birth to Muhammad or someone sitting on the Kaaba. And I thought that's never, ever going to help anyone question their faith. So my mission was, and this is where my name came, Arabic translated name, is let me get those clean Arabic memes. And there were even more by the time I decided to start, all questioning the Quran, the Hadith, the Sirat al-Nabi, the story of the Prophet, and asking questions like, how could this be right? And this is how I started my journey. And this is why I'm here.
Yeah, right now I'm struggling a lot. It is crazy. I mean, hearing you, but I have to just say one thing first. It's not right now. Facebook doesn't allow our streaming, and this is one of the most important streaming for me. I was waiting a long time, but I'm trying to publish YouTube link right now, and it is so crazy because of I will show because just 1 hour ago they have deleted one of our posts, which was from ex-Muslim memes. I think this was because I have started the stream, and this has to be the reason, I think. And but back to what's your story and what did you just say, Hassan? I believe ISIS caused like tsunami of ex-Muslims in the Muslim world, because suddenly many hundreds of thousands of Muslims who have any knowledge, who have no knowledge about Muhammad's life and Islamic expansion's history of the Islamic expansion, they suddenly saw that saw the true face of Islam with ISIS.
Yes.
And this is very strange in other way. In the West, when we say that, the same happened to me, and maybe happened to many other ex-Muslims. When we research and we read Quran and Hadiths and the story of Muhammad, then we see the real Islam, and this Islam look like ISIS Islam much more than one hypocritical Islam, like many Muslims who they say they are Muslim, but never read anything
Agree.
from Quran.
I agree.
So,
I mean, see, there is a saying that most Muslims, the majority, are better than Islam. And I actually strongly believe that.
I agree.
Consciously or otherwise, or even how we teach our children, we decided to move away from the violent Islam. But to say that this is real Islam is not true. This is what I call Islam 2.0, that's been used to convert people in the West, to give a different and more peaceful. And Kemal, don't worry about Facebook. Once the YouTube is published, it's fine. Yeah, so don't worry about it. Yeah,
I'm just
I could have guessed that this is what's going to happen. It's not a coincidence, because we are talking about them. So it doesn't surprise me. So don't stress yourself about it. The video will make it anyway.
Yeah.
Yes, Jalil, you were talking.
I just wanted to say, I think it's very important what you said about the memes of, very vulgar kind of memes that are out there. I remember also growing up in my parents are not, very religious. My dad is an ex-Muslim. And he would sometimes watch, when the internet first was coming up, watch some of the memes and show me as a child. And I was like, oh my God, do you think pictures of pissing on prophets or something like that, do you really think that it changes anybody's mind in Iran? Maybe people will laugh, some will laugh, but actually changing people's mind was more important to me. And also it shows, how do you say, you being a bigger and more, being a bigger person, not to, like, I don't mind people burning the Quran or spitting on the Quran. I mean, I'm not going to, fight them on it, but it's not for me. I would rather, like, criticize Islam, because then I feel,
Yeah,
I have
I
more
agree.
to contribute to this problem than just, cursing prophets or something like that.
Absolutely.
I really feel you have a point there.
Yes, thank you. It is something. I think what's more frustrating is probably the topic of today is, while we are trying to put a positive, not a positive, but a clean message, and more informed message, and more honest and open message, like the research that I put, is meant to be well researched. I'm not a god, so I did make a mistake or two in the past. I quickly went and removed them or corrected them. But I'm making a point, like many ex-Muslims, including you guys, is we know that we're under the microscope. They are looking for one mistake to go, haha, you are liars, and then we can't believe anything you say.
Haters,
We don't believe
Islamophobes.
anything you say, people. Yes, I mean, and that's why I'm even extra careful. But the treatment we've been getting from social media is just horrendous. I know one day people will look back at this, and that's why I want to have a record of it and say how and put that against social media about how they treating ex-Muslim.
You just reminded me. In some years ago, I made it a meme. In two picture together. The picture on the up picture had one hijabi woman handshaking with Saudi prince.
Okay, yeah.
And the picture on the down, the second picture had
I know
Muslim
it.
woman making like this and don't want to
Westerner.
shake hands with our crown prince of Norway.
Yes.
And
it's the same lady, wasn't it? I think it was the same
no,
lady.
it's not same lady. It's never
Okay.
been same lady, and we never thought about that. We just write like when Aisha meets Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, and when Aisha, like Abdul,
Yeah.
when we call the woman a Muslim believer woman with hijab, we call Aisha, and or man Abdul.
Yes. Yes.
Suddenly they took us there. Like now we get you. These women are not the same.
I see.
Instead of talking about what is this hypocrisy, is this Islamic handshaking or not? Why she is doing? Why Muslim believer woman with hijab don't want to shake hands with non-believer man, but in the same time they do with Muslim men.
Yes.
So we just want to create a debate, but suddenly the fact checkers. Yes, in Norway they are
I just
getting
want
millions. Yes,
I just
Nero.
want to mention.
Yeah, go on.
Your internet is very breaking.
Very poor internet right now she has. But in any case,
my internet, I don't know why I'm getting kicked out of the studio. I don't know why. It's not.
It's because of
kicked out.
You are not kicked out. It's your internet connection in Rock.
Yeah, it's not. It's breaking up a lot. Maybe if you stop the camera, it will be a stream better. Can you try just not sharing the camera for a moment? Maybe it'll stream better with just voice.
Okay, I mean is that they put us like we are sharing fake news. It was it was not news. It was a meme. There was a description about the hypocrisy in Islam. because someone says it is like forbidden, someone says, like, especially in the West, they woman like, this is our belief, we cannot handshake. But in the same time, we see in the born place of Islam, it is Muhammad's born place, woman doing a handshake with men.
Absolutely.
So like this, you have absolutely right. They are all the time like looking for, find a little thing to get you.
Absolutely.
And you never give them.
No, I'm extra careful. See, I realized my page is viewed now as a pure research satire. So, and there's a slight difference between satire and parody. Parody is where you make up stuff in a funny way. I'm going to show a meme about that later on. And then, but you're making it up, so it's not real. When I did that once, there was almost an outcry, even among my followers, that no, we don't want to go this. We like you the way you are, just satire, but fact satire. You know what I mean? And that's, I think we need to stick with that for the wider group of people.
There is no need for fiction. It's, any fiction would be less, outrageous.
Less productive. As well. I feel this is where we have to stand as ex-Muslims. We are under the microscope. I think there's a lot of great work being done on your page, and also with your streams. I have watched them several times in the past. I didn't interact, but now I created this account purely to interact. And it's a pleasure, honestly. Kemal, when I reached for you, you're the first ex-Muslim I actually reached for, because I think your whole page, all of you have done amazing work to keep it going, and I wish you all the best in keeping it going. It's a big challenge in how the internet keeps getting harder and harder on ex-Muslims.
You too.
I'm not gonna give up. This is something I've always said. If I'm not on Instagram, you're gonna find me somewhere else. If I'm not, I've already opened a Telegram account for anyone who I'll post it again on my page for people to follow me there. And the website Ex-Muslim Memes was actually a reaction for being closed twice. I thought, okay, if you're not going to let me on your platform, I'm going to put myself on the internet. And I went through a company that doesn't show any of my details. And now when they Google terms like, and you can try it, Kaaba or something, they are finding my memes in images on Google. So you could have really kept me on social media and no one would see my memes so much. You've made me go online, and now people are finding. I had 16,000 visits last year, more than I had when I was on social media. So when you hurt us, we don't give up.
Yeah.
We might go down a day or two or week or month,
Exactly.
but we pick ourselves because we know people need to see this. And so I'm going to say something that many people will notice the issue. In the past, when ex-Muslims would leave Islam, they'll stay quiet. They'll say, you know what, let it be. Some people need something to believe in before they die, and maybe they can't handle the truth. Let it be. But we've tried this for 1,400 years, and it's not getting any better. It's not getting any better. We have an opportunity now with the internet to finally put a stop to this and say, no, we can't keep doing it. This chat now you showed, I think internet is a jab on Islam with a star. This is how they're stopping us talking, because retro can't write the word Islam without being either blocked or reported. I'm going to talk about this as well today in my presentation. But we can't stop. We have to adopt. We have to continue exposing this, and it's getting better. As bad as it gets, the message is it is getting better.
Absolutely.
The meme you had the other day, it was about imagine what it's like for a Muslim woman in heaven
Yep.
when their brothers and fathers and husbands are walking around with constant erections, and what kind of a terrible existence it is for the Muslim woman. I had
Yeah.
never thought of that. I laughed so much. It was the first time I even thought about how horrible it is to be a Muslim woman in heaven. So, you are bringing information to even people who have been ex-Muslims for years and have been fighting the fight, because there are so many details there that one doesn't dig into. But the memes make it so clear, and that it's brilliant. So, you have got to keep posting those.
I'm not gonna start.
Yes.
One incident that is funny is a relative of mine came along and said, "Take a look at this." Who doesn't know what I'm doing? I thought that's my meme.
I,
I thought that's my meme.
I was gonna ask
I
exactly
didn't say
this
it.
question. Yeah.
Oh my God.
About how is your family and friends? Do they know that you left Islam, or
They-
how is the situation with
Yeah,
your?
all the family members know I left Islam. They all, because you see, when you get to that high position of, being a university professor, it's they can't really challenge you anymore. They know you've done your research, and they know that I used to be very, very religious. But what they don't know is my online activity. So they think I'm the typical ex-Muslim who leaves Islam and stays quiet. And I think for the religious side of and the family, they think, oh, one day he'll come around and go to Hajj and everything will be all right. And that's how they view it. For the other side, and this is the younger generation, I was telling Kemal, and this is what makes me hope and believe. So in the next generation, when I joined the Atheist Republic on Facebook, I was surprised to find 5 of my nephews and cousins following it as well. And I was like, wow. Like, you don't know it until you follow them, because and also blah, 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 blah are following. And so it was like, oh, guys, and these are young generation. I didn't know you're following the Atheist Republic. And it was a laugh, because for them, it's like, oh, they look up to me. And they're like, oh, you also? And I was like, yes, I am. So I think there is a hope with the next generation. And there you go.
And I just wanted, before I forget, because I was thinking, ask you this question many times. I was thinking, send a message even. One thing I'm wondering, because you are Arabic speaking ex-Muslim, and it's a wonderful thing with you. About yogurt, like when Muslim women go to Jannah, the heaven, you write on some memes that they get yogurt.
A cup of yogurt. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
I haven't found any source about that. So,
but see, the joke of that meme is, what do women get? Yeah, so you read the caption, the men get this, the men get that, the men get this, the men get that. And of course, if you tell a Muslim, will women be drinking alcohol in heaven? They'll say, haram. No. Probably the alcohol is not for them. Yeah. So what's left? It's just a river of yogurt. I mean, it's not that it's in a hadith, but if they can't drink alcohol, they can't have 72 virgin men, then what's left for them other than a cup of yogurt? And that's come from an Arabic meme as well. So it's Egyptian. I remember it very well. Because they like yogurt, they call it laban.
Yeah.
So they were like, oh, the women will just get a cup of laban. So it was meant to be a joke. And I thought, okay, this is good. Let's keep it going. Yeah, but it's not coming from a specific hadith.
No, I understand. But what a stupid religion. I have to say this. I cannot believe that I was even stupid enough to not questioning and thinking, what is Allah promising us when we die? Sex, erected penis, virgins. And what woman gets? Some scholar says that they get only one erected penis, like dildo, and
I
it's
remember
crazy.
we were. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Just continue. Sorry, I'm sorry.
No, sorry. I remember I was on holidays with my husband, and we were in Egypt, and then we were starting to talk to this, this water pipe. What was it called? Shisha. Uh, um, I don't know what it's called in English.
Yeah,
Um,
shisha.
Shisha, and we were just smoking, and we were talking to this guy, and then he found out that we were my husband is ex-Muslim. I was never really a Muslim, and then he's like, "You're an ex-Muslim? You know you can have other wives if you're a Muslim." And I was like, "Oh my God, I'm sitting right here." And he was trying to convince him to become a Muslim so he could have other wives than me. And I was like, "Oh my God, you're such a stupid person."
But that's how Islam started. I mean, that's a part of the selling point,
Yeah.
that why I write in some of the meme is made by men for men. It's made by a man for men. It's one of the conclusion of that meme about what do they get in heaven is, I say, so what do women get in heaven? It doesn't say. There's actually not one specific thing that the
You know,
Quran.
someone said to me when I asked some Muslims, they said maybe they are like they became a man. You know, woman became a man. Even in heaven, like, because they cannot imagine that their mom get erected penis or I don't know what. So they have to find something. Oh my God, what, my wife or my mom? So they said maybe they became like transforming to men.
Yeah, I mean that's a lie, of course. And you ask
You
them,
know what
give me a
kind of
reference.
religion promises like the river of wine. I don't
Yeah.
like wine. Why not cola? You know,
Whiskey.
whiskey. You know, it is so stupid. Yeah, but the other thing I want to ask you, it is about West. You know, but before the West, what do you think about in the Arabic world? Uh, ex-Muslim movement and people's relation with the religion. You know, I have I'm very optimistic because I see many Arabic social media accounts. Like most of them are fake accounts because of security reasons.
Mhm.
They are mocking Islam. They are publishing memes. They are talking about Islam. So I'm very optimistic. What do you think about
I
Hassan?
mean, several studies have come out from Pew Research and the BBC as well, showing that a huge change in the last 5-10 years. Ever after ISIS, many Muslims had to challenge how they see things. Because look, in the West, the social media, news channels did not share the horrors of ISIS. They did not share the slaughters. They did not share the executions. They did not share the selling of slaves in public markets. They did not share some videos which I saw in Arabic where some of these jihadis were laughing in one room while women being raped in the other. They didn't share this. They didn't talk about this. But in the Arab world, they saw it. They were all shown. They did not hide anything. And every time ISIS did something, they said, and this is the Quran that says this. And this is the hadith that says that. And when Arabs were seeing that and opening their books and thinking, oh, so this is what the right hand possessed means? This is what milk al-yamin means? Yes, I mean, because we were told lies. We were told, oh, these are sabaya. They're just happy women who are just here to dance. And, yes, I mean, we were giving, I mean, I remember watching Ramadan stories with sabaya. Sabaya meaning, the harems of the prince, and they're dancing and they're having fun. You didn't realize these were actually women taken in war where their families were killed and then used as slaves, sex slaves in the palace of the... They didn't put that in the story. So, suddenly they had to connect these things. But this is where, unfortunately, as good as the news coming out from the Middle East, and there's been a huge change of how the world is in the Middle East is starting to question their faith. Kemal, Islam adopted in the past, and I feel they will adapt again. They rely on people forgetting and believing lies. So that's why they were really trying to keep selling. Oh, ISIS is funded by the Zionist and they
CIA.
believe it, and the CIA, and they believe it. They have stuff that's so easily photoshopped and clearly made up to make them believe that this is. And why do I know they've adapted? Because historically they did the same thing in the 60s. So
But some madrasas, some Quran schools are actually funded by Western money.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, and-
the Western countries are creating jihadists. They just call it donations for peace and such. And also, it's like very often online being harassed for trying to explain Islam is that it's compared to other religions. It's compared to Hinduism and Christianity especially, and Judaism, and people go like every religion has assholes and every religion has violence, so you can't judge all Muslims because of what ISIS did. However, the religions that used to have violence, they don't really have followers anymore. Most people are atheists that used to be Christian. There aren't that many churches anymore, while mosques here in Western countries are just growing. There are more mosques all the time, and that's where the violence is taught, and that's where it's coming from. But they defend it and fund it by saying that it's just like any other religion, although they are not funding any other religion in the same way.
Yeah, I mean, you're spot on with that thing. And the reason why Christianity had to adapt and become more peaceful is that the press during the Renaissance challenged the faith, and people start questioning aspects of the faith. The reason why other religions also had to adapt and change some of their violent content is that people were able to challenge it and say, this is not humane, this is not right. But we're not allowed to do that properly at the moment. When we do, we get named as Islamophobe. When we do, is that, I mean, I was showing Kemal one aspect of a definition of Islamophobe that said, if you dislike Islam, you're an Islamophobe. And it was in a dislike. I mean, and I was going to go to this presentation because I was very furious with this definition, but I didn't have a chance.
Do it.
Well, I mean, yeah, and I was like, how could you put a definition that anyone who dislike Islam is an Islamophobe? I mean, it was along with other parts that, okay, and if you, dislike Muslims and stuff, but they put in between the sentence, if you dislike Islam. And I was like, but
isn't it even like a theological concept within Islam that if you don't like something, as a Muslim even, if you don't like something like stoning, child brides and such things, you should, you don't like it, but you should accept it. So even within the concept of Islam, you cannot control what you like, what you don't like, but you have to accept it. So I think that's even,
Actually, what you said right now, Jale, in Quran, I don't remember the verse, but there Allah says, the background of the verse is about some people didn't want to kill, like jihadists, Then Allah says that some things you don't like, but because you don't know what's good in it. Right, Hassan?
True. I mean, but going to how Islam adapts, we have to go back a little bit in history. So, and I share experience with what I heard from the older generation, that'll be my grandparents, and which I have very fond memory of my grandmother. So you forget that the reason why there was a secular revolution in the Middle East. Remember those pictures from Pakistan with women wearing short skirts, or Iran by the beach wearing swimsuits, or
Afghanistan,
Afghanistan, Egypt, nightclubs. People, there was a huge secular revolution in the Middle East in the 60s and 70s. And why was that secular revolution? Why suddenly people lost their faith so much? And the reason being is that it was the man landing on the moon, the US landing on the moon. That shook the Middle East. Already they were shaking after the banning of slavery, which happened in the Middle East around the 60s. And that came enforced by the UN. But also the landing on the moon kind of shook the Middle East even further. So here's two stories I'll share with you. My grandmother, bless her, she was born 1900 exactly. So she was in her 90s, in the mid 90s, when she told me things like, well, we used to have slaves in our family. And I was like, okay, what do you mean slave? Well, we had two slaves, one little boy and one girl. And I said to her, and we're not that rich. We're not that famous, or to own, like we're not estate holders or anything like that. We were a respected family, a very respected Muslim family, but not to that point. So I was like, but this is wrong. I thought Islam doesn't allow that. She said, oh, of course it allowed it, but those Westerners banned it, and then we had to release them and send them to Africa. But we were doing the right thing because we were teaching them about Islam. We'll buy them from the market and teach them about Islam. And she reckoned that the girl was converting, but the boy wasn't. But it didn't matter. The boy was not going to have children because he was neutered. And I was horrified when she shared that story with me. And I thought she's losing her mind. And then the next story she said, the landing of the moon was a big lie to her. And the reason being is that she said the Quran says the earth is flat. Those Americans are lying to us. We always believe the earth is flat. The Prophet said this, the Quran. And I said, Grandma, you're losing your mind. How could you even say something? The earth is not flat. The Quran doesn't say it. She said, it does say it. Don't believe those Americans, blah, blah, blah. And bless her heart, she was reporting what she grew up to know. And this is what caused this secular revolution in the Middle East and around that area, because that young generation woke up to realize that Islam is not humane and actually does not confirm with science. But here's where Islam adapts. And this is what I see is happening now. They start lying about the fact that they ever owned slavery. They start lying about ever saying that the earth is flat, even though they've been saying it for 1,350 years until that point.
They are even denying today Dava paper and say egg-shaped or the egg of which bird, the big one.
That big lie that that it's an egg. What's it called? It's
ostrich egg.
Ostrich egg. Yeah, that's a big lie. Let me get you the verse because it's all over the internet. So it's verse 7930 of the Quran. Yeah, 7930. It says, and he spread it out. But because it's used an unusual word called dahaha, and some people, I pointed and I found the video that it was Zakri Naik who started this lie. He said, oh, dahaha means an ostrich egg. Why ostrich egg? We don't have a word for an ostrich eggs in Arabic. But he was talking to people who don't know Arabic and they were all clapping. But dahaha is a very well-known word for spreading it, like when you do the Arabic bread flat. You get something and you flatten it. You know how Arabic bread is flat, yeah? That is dahaha. Dahaha is actually a verb, so it can never be. And he says, and Allah dahaha. So, you can't go and invent things, but he did. And, this lie is still running until this point. And that's what I'm saying. They adapted, they changed, and they succeeded because Islam 2.0 came around.
Yeah, Hassan, Christian Prince says that I'm agree with him. He says he think about 10 years, Muslims will deny all the hadiths. Already they have picked like a lot of hadiths they have thrown and hiding not in English. They have no in internet. And even they say, Sahih hadiths, many Sahih hadiths, even they don't accept. Yep. So like they are denying, but even they come one point that today we see many Dawa people who are doing missionary, they are even they are denying the meaning of verses. So my question is, usual Arabic people,
Yeah.
Can they understand Quran exactly? They understand what they are reading in newspaper.
Yeah.
Is it the same, or I mean,
No, see,
they need the explanation too?
they still need the explanation because
Right.
the Arabic language, the Arabic of the Quran is Quranic, Quraishi, and actually has some Persian words in there, which is, another indication that it's man-made. It couldn't have come from Allah. But what Arabs focus on more, especially the atheist Arab ones, and you don't see English one looking at it at all, and Western ones, is linguistic problems. And I cannot translate these and share them because when you look at the English one, they fixed it. So there's so many Arabic linguistic problems where it's supposed to be talking about one person, but it's referring to them in a female context. Who is this female? They point. It's referring to someone, but it's supposed to be talking about Allah, but it's not Allah. So there was all these
Isn't there
things.
also Isn't there also
Yeah.
somewhere in the Quran that says that book and not this book about?
Yes.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that is.
But they fixed it.
Yeah, in the English version. But I think if somebody out there wants to reform Islam, they can use that little thing to say that there's a book coming. I'm going to write it. It's going to be a peaceful one, and let's follow that one.
Yeah. I mean, of course, and there's so many things where it says in one place something and then it changes it in another place. But in English, they fixed that. So I don't want to share this because I'm going to be accused by the ones who don't know Arabic by saying, oh, you're lying. See, we saw it here. But what I focus on is the one that's clearly found on Quran.com, translated by multiple translators, like this verse 7930, that definitely does not say it's eggshell in ostrich egg anywhere. So then they can't argue because they go there and come back, oh, you're right. They come from Zakir Naik background videos and stuff. Oh, no, it is this verse, this verse. I say, okay, take a look at Quran.com, and they shut up. You know what I mean? I can't go with the linguistic ones, but that's where the Arab ones focus on, and they point to multiple mistakes there. They don't focus on scientific mistakes, which is one of the things that's really helped me leave Islam at that point. Because, morality is questionable. And I can see where some people say, oh, back then, but not now, and stuff like that. Yeah. But when you see the flat earth thing, 11 verses, one by one, saying that the earth is like a bed, like a sheet, like a rug, and it was because at the time they were debating this concept. You have to remember, you have to go to the context of the time. The atheist of Greece, the Greek atheists were saying that the earth is round. So Muhammad was mocking them by saying, how could you say that? Look at the earth is flat, like this. Allah made it spread out like this.
And Allah says Alexander the Great is find the sun where it go down.
Exactly. And he found it going into a hot river mud stuff. Yeah. And I was watching this recording as well. I do watch Christian Prince, although I find him a little bit too aggressive for my flavor. He was saying it is Allah who's saying this. It's not that Alexander saw it from his perspective. If you go back in the sentence, and I thought, I never thought of that. He's right. The sentence is saying Allah took him there. Allah did this. Allah showed him the way, and then he found the sun setting in. So found. And then and you get the English one, they put in bracket, appeared to. It's a lie. There's no appeared to. He found it. So my grandma, when she died, believing the earth is flat, is because of all this.
So actually, if people read the Quran, anything they see in a bracket, they have to think that this is a lie. Yeah. Actually,
take it out. Take it out. Anything you see in the Quran with brackets, take it out. Yes, sorry.
My grandmother didn't believe in the moon landing either. But she used to tell us that it's Elfheim. It's the home of the elves. And that's more like something that they have from both Persian and Arabic storytelling. But she really used to believe that convincingly, that it's the land of the elves. And she knew the earth was around because she flew from Pakistan to Norway tons of times and back and forth. And still, she wouldn't discuss it because what she had seen was probably not as true as what's written in the Quran, because just imagining to know something that is disproving Quran was out of question. She would just leave it be, as if it's a mystery that she won't it's like it's above her to
Yeah, well,
question,
there is
even
a
though
word
she
for
has
that.
seen it with her eyes that it was around.
It's called double thinking. So there's a concept where you can believe two things, and although they're completely opposite and not possible, you can actually believe two things that are completely the opposite of each other. Like the concept that, oh, Islam gives women rights, when women are saying it who are in Islam and they know they have no rights. They have very little inheritance compared to others. They don't have, they could be sharing the same husband, not the other way around. And they'll defend vigorously and believe with all their heart that Islam gives them more right than any other way of living. Yeah. So double thinking is a concept that actually does exist and it's been tested, and people will still believe two opposite things. So it doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, I just want to say I'm really I don't care how many people are watching right now, because I appreciate so much this conversation. But when I look to the Facebook, they are totally blocked this stream. And even when I share now, I shared 1 hour ago, almost 1 hour ago, shared a link on our page, Ex-Muslims of Norway. This link reached 0%. Zero.
Yeah. I mean,
this link is YouTube link. I share it because of they didn't allow the this first time happening. Facebook doesn't allow.
Kemal,
it's so crazy. Really crazy.
You think that they don't have someone looking and following. You're mistaken. They are tracking, and they know that this is going to be shared. And I don't care. As I said, as long as it's online. Maybe we should start, if you don't mind. Let's start sharing the slide. Let's share this, and then eventually I'll put that on my Sharia gram, and you can share it on your fatwa book.
It has never been like this. We have did many live streamings, but it's going in the same time in YouTube and Facebook, and many people on now. You see, there is no comment from Facebook and nothing, because totally blocked. But in any case, I want to talk a little bit about your thoughts about why. This is a big question. I cannot understand sometimes in the West why they are like they are look like the West in love with this religion. One of the most stupid religion, if you ask me, and one of the most violent.
They do everything to hide the fact that there are victims of Islam, that they are people who have their lives stolen from them, like a lot of Christian prosecutions and the discrimination of ex-Muslims, especially online. They just completely hide it, so nobody will know how Islam
this is a part of it. I mean, is that it is really difficult to understand. When I was looking up to West all the time after I left Islam, because of their free speech and how they deal it with Christianity, Enlightenment age, all these philosophers. I love Voltaire, for example. But when it came to Islam, first of all, it's not about the people. It's but in any case, Muslims are not minority in any case. They are majority everywhere, and they're allowing Muslims come as refugee and migrants all over the West. They are all over. So Islam is all over. But in the same time, Christian people not migrating the Muslim countries. They are Muslim countries keeping themselves as Muslims. This is not the problem in any case. But I mean, if the victim is case for the West, like they look, Muslims are victims, so we have to take care of them, so we have to take care of their stupid religion too. But it's not like that. Where is the debate? Where is the atheist people in the West? Where is people attacking Islam? Why not? Because they are attacking still Christianity. In eBay, they are selling things. I can even say some of them is uh, like hatred against Christians, not the Christianity.
Yeah.
And I'm an atheist. I'm not supporting Christianity, but I mean is double moral. They did this 400 years against Christianity. They burned Bible. They did everything. They are joking, mocking with Jesus every day. They are
Yeah.
making him pig. They are making him gay.
Yeah.
Anything. But
Yeah.
when it comes to Islam, even a caricature of Muhammad,
Yeah.
there is a taboo, and the so-called elite people, so-called some like we will say liberal people,
But
educated in academia, in universities, in media, in politics.
but it's not
What is
Islamic.
this?
It's not Islamic. I don't think it's Islamic to make fun of Jesus, right? Because he
No, no,
was.
no. I mean, it's Westerners,
Yeah.
not the
Okay.
Muslims.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah.
I mean, there's two sides to this. First of all, I think the
And you
liberal,
are an academic here,
yes,
and
I am,
you know the people more than us.
yes, yes.
What do you think?
I think there's two sides of it. One of them is that the liberal side, which is very dominant in the West, and rightly so, I think, but they believe that Islam is adapting to a more peaceful version, and they take from the book of Christianity that Christianity adapted to become a more peaceful religion. That's one side of it that they believe. They also believe that if they antagonize Muslims, it's going to make more extremists. And I think the experience after Salman Rushdie book and the violence that they experienced back then, they kind of learned a lot from it, and they kind of took a step back. So I see those two sides. The issue is for me is that in order to challenge Islam to become more peaceful and to get those people genuinely changing the text, is that we have to expose the violent part of it. We have to expose what's wrong with it. What made Christianity adapt is because people were openly challenging Christianity, and so on. So I think that is where the West is getting it wrong. And today's experience is one of them, my friend. And that's why I told you, if anything, I'm laughing because I know this was going to happen. I know they've been trying to block me in every way. They just can't handle the fact that today I'm going to show how awful they've been to ex-Muslims. I have documented everything. And people behind this know that this is bad for them. This is a very bad image. But don't be disheartened, because once it's on YouTube and once you get able to share it, people will see it. And it's a matter of delay, a
We
few
need the
days.
longevity, right? We need to,
Yes,
we need to, it's the longevity of our work that is going
yes,
to shake the pillars of, the Westerners' wokeism. Because that
exactly,
doesn't
exactly.
allow us to say anything about a religion that we all, have inside knowledge about, and we are talking very, civilized, and we are not mocking
Yes,
Muslims. We're not cursing Muslims. We're not being racist. And how could we even be racist?
yeah,
Criticizing a religion. And I also just want to say, I really do believe that this was the reason why the secularism movement within Muslim countries failed. One of the reasons was, you just said that, the Westerners think that this is a, linear development from, religion to secularism.
mhm,
This is just time, right? But we
yes,
just saw this fail one time, from secularism to extremism,
yeah,
going back to extremism all over the Muslim world. And
yes,
this is, of course, because we had people being modern and civilized, and you had these movements of human rights, women's rights, and so on, that was put forward by the Westerners. But and people liked it in the Middle East.
yep,
Our
yep,
parents' generation liked it, but they were not um, intellectually challenging what what Islam was,
Yes.
and this is the reason why it was so quickly overturned by Islamists, because they would still call themselves Muslims, at
Yep.
least in public. So and they couldn't, even if they were ex-Muslims, they couldn't really challenge that part of the society. So not doing that, it was so easy for the Islamists to re-brainwash everyone within generations to come. And
Yes.
this is what we have today. I think that's what happened, and this is why it's so important for me that we criticize Islam and not just talk about modern values and human rights and women's rights. It's about Islam, because this is what is used to brainwash the generations to come.
And brainwash
I
me. I mean, I got
It's
Yeah.
like
brainwashed.
it's like not knowing enough about Islam, and still having to defend it as a habit. They claim to know everything about Islam.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
true.
I just I yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to back Jalia's point, who supported Khomeini to take over Iran? It was France. They hosted him. They gave him the platform, and they even
and
gave him
the
a fight.
the communists in Iran.
Yeah, well, they were waiting. They thought that, oh, here comes our salvation, and I mean, it's because the West believe that Islam will adopt, because Khomeini at the time promised them that it's a republic, it's modernization of Islam. How modernized is it? It's actually went back to the 14th century. That wasn't modernized. They haven't learned, unfortunately, and it's. I think even with the small platforms that we're making big impact. So I'll start this presentation. It's not going to be too long, but please feel free to
Just go on. Just
ask
go on
any
with it.
questions. So I'm going to skip this bit because this is just a timeline. So brief history. I said to you, I started back in 2008. I started my Arabic translated meme on Facebook. It didn't last long, only 3 months. Out of the blue, I got blocked. I was telling Kemal, I started experience for the first time the form of anxieties, because you wake up one morning having not been reported once, having not had any problem, and suddenly my page of 15,000 gets closed. I supported another page called the Ex-Muslim Memes. He was a Pakistani atheist. He was running it from Pakistan with a big risk for his life. I supported him there, and again, the page lasted only 1 year and then closed, actually less than a year. But he had another page as well called the Atheist Republic of Pakistan with 2 other people. They got me in as an admin. Again, big risk for them, I thought, but I helped them, and they created a backup page called Haram Stuff. And at the end, we had challenges. I'm going to show them. And then I opened my Arabic translated meme on Instagram in 2001. So I had little documentation from this period, because I genuinely believe that that social media is fair. And I was shocked every time things happened. But I have a lot more documentation from this period, and I'm going to share them with you today. So the Atheist Republic of Pakistan has about 13,000 followers. It was one of the first platforms to welcome me, to share my memes, and you can see they were spreading a lot. This is 1 week, this is another week, 185,000 engagement, spread to 280,000 people, and the next one, 438,000 people in 1 week. It was spreading very, very wild. One record we reached at the time was 500,000 in 1 single week. It had only 13,000, but people were starving for the material in Pakistan. This is what I'm talking about. They want to see, they want to read. It was being shared. People were engaging with it and sharing it. And by the way, this wouldn't be even half the amount, because most people will screenshot and share. And we saw evidence of that being shared on other groups, whereby the memes were being copied, not shared. So we know we were reaching millions every week, and we were cheering for the number of shares. And I know your page is doing something very similar as well, if not better, because you have 40,000. It's spreading. Don't just look at the number of shares. People are actually copying it, and I can see them on other pages, atheist and ex-Muslim pages being shared. The impact was substantial, because they're clean, because they are And I've had people who are Muslims who are looking at them and laughing as well, because they're not meant to be harmful. But we were being shot right, left, and center. Like, for instance, the Facebook page got shot in Pakistan shortly after we became very popular. My admin would open it. Who's stopping it? It's not Pakistan, because Pakistan didn't stop Facebook. It was Facebook blocking the page for Pakistan. And this is the cancel culture that they say they're against. But there you go. Even the page Ex-Muslim Meme got blocked in Pakistan. Ironically, they sent me an email telling me that, I've been, summoned to a court somewhere in Pakistan, and that my page is going to be blocked. Of course, I just ignored them. And shortly after, the admin from Pakistan informed me, guess your page got blocked. And I said, fine. It didn't harm my content, because Pakistanis use a lot of VPN and they know how to get around the system. I still see loads of them coming to the page. But I wanted to show the kind of harassment at this point, mass reporting, a problem that Facebook and Instagram have severely. If you take This Is Haram stuff, this is one of the few occasions that I managed to document. Take a look at the difference in time between one report and the other. 1 hour, 21 minutes, 53 minutes, 52 minutes, 2 minutes. It was one after the other, after the other, after the other. We were not publishing we were publishing 1 or 2 a day. And it was when the jihadis, E-jihadists started, it was one after the other, after the other, after the other. There was no break. It was just, and why they were doing it? Because it was enabled. Once they close one post, they call each other back and say, let's go for it. Yeah. So we tried to make a light humor about it, and made a post saying, how do you know facts hurt them when they mass report everything they see? They were just mass reporting everything. They're not even checking whether this is bad, this is wrong, this is against Islam. They were just reporting everything. And then we managed to trace back where these are happening, and they're happening on multiple pages that are enabled on Facebook that are dedicated to reporting anti-Islamic pages. Supposedly, I mean, look how many pages do we have? And this one on the top has 11,500 followers. And when they put a page, they all blindly start reporting without even checking. This is the problem that we have with social media, and similar ones will be on Instagram. So next is a documentation of this harassment. So let's take a look. So this is an example. I know you've seen these guys, but let's have a laugh, because we can only laugh at these things. So this was one of the ones I managed to document. Notice, by the way, the admin from Pakistan documented, because you can see Telecom PK at the top from Pakistan. And it says, this post goes against our community standard for spam. A spam? What did we have? This. How is this spam? The proof that Allah exists, and the proof that Spider-Man exists. This is spam.
It's unbelievable, really.
Oh,
This is unbelievable.
What do you think? This is spam? I mean, we're going to see many of these, yeah? But this is spamming the internet. Okay? Another one, okay? And we'll laugh even more on this one. Again, this one. This post goes against our community standard for spamming. Again, what is this? This says, it's good to have a glass of wine in Jannah.
This is harassment. I cannot even laugh right now. This is really, we have to do something with that. One time you said to me, Hassan, that we have to find a lawyer.
Yes.
And really go open a case against these social media platforms.
Once we went, I'm urging any lawyer who sees it at any point. I'm not going to keep a penny of it. I don't need money. I'm doing very well as a professor. I actually donate money to ex-Muslim pages. I'll sue them for billions, keep half of them, and the other half we're going to donate them to ex-Muslim movements. I'm not going to keep a penny. I have everything documented. You're going to see loads of them still. We're just starting, by the way. But if a lawyer out there who wants to make billions and settle down, come get in touch with me on Shariagram and Keep half the money for yourself. We'll sign everything. Just go after them and teach them, because once they're sued, they'll change their policies. They'll know that they can't do this. But at the moment, they get away with it. Yes.
And also, I think it's a good idea maybe to go and organize what do you call these a petition where ex-Muslims and all over the world with the organizations or networks, or even just people standing and signing petitions saying we want the social media platforms to be cautious about this problem. We are not illegal. We are not we are also human beings who have freedom of speech, and we are also you cannot just censor us. You cannot just keep censoring us. And I think we have a good case, and maybe even Elon Musk would take, to promote the free speech of ex-Muslims, because he's actually trying to be a moderate person in this public debate about social media and free speech. So maybe we can use Elon Musk and his more free and liberal standards when it comes to free speech on social media platforms and on Twitter. Maybe we can push him to
in any
to
case,
speak
we
our
have to
case.
start. We have to start from some place. I agree with you, Jale. And
also we should think about I'm sorry. And also we should think about social media, the use of social media in another more different way, because I also get thrown out of it. I'm like, oh, now what do I do? And I have thought about I should maybe have like 10 different accounts and be on every other social platform, because that's the way I have to do it, because I will be censored, right? I should work knowing that I'm going to be censored from now on, because I cannot just I'm sorry.
Yes, no.
I have tons of times I have felt so depressed because I get these thoughts that I want to share, but I don't, because I mean, when I say things, they're funny. Like, for instance, that the left wing used to be advocating free speech until they got this new baby who is a retard and explode things if it gets upset, And now free speech is banned because they have this new adopted baby that is, a little crazy and it does have development issues. And I used to write these things on my Facebook page, and people would laugh, and I get kicked out for 7 days or sometimes a month if I write these things. So I just keep them inside, and no one is laughing, and I just get so edgy, So
I agree.
Get these thoughts out, heals yourself too, and it helps other people.
Sure.
Hassan, before you continue, I just want to add something. Yeah, I will really search for a lawyer that who can take this case, because I know I have contact with ex-Muslims of America and other organizations that I know many of them saving all censorship they have. Like us, half hour before we start this live streaming, I go through some. I will share here later. But what's happening? This is for me, like light Islamic blasphemy laws in the West. Okay, it's not kill, but it is harassing, and I can even say what they are doing. These things you are showing, this is like hatred against Muslims for me, because like wishing not good, not diversity in the Muslim world. They don't want free thinkers. They don't want criticals. They want to like protect a religion, and I don't believe any religion needs any protection. Any religion do not deserve that protection.
Yeah, censoring us is against democratic law. It's Islamic law. They are implementing Islamic law on Facebook.
and that's why I call them fatwa book, and Instagram I call them Sharia book, because they are doing the Sharia. I mean, let's look some more. So this one, hate speech. So this goes against our community standard on hate speech. Now, let me show you what this says. It says, two women leading Germany and Britain never will succeed such a nation as makes a woman the ruler. Where's hate? This is a hadith. And this is two women trying to show that women can lead. And this is translated from Arabic. You can see the author, Najm and Nisaj. And I say, then an idiot said, maybe this insulted them. I said, okay, I'll be more careful than using this word. But this was hate speech. Okay, then this one. This one was actually shared on your page as well.
And this was one of the best. I love so much.
Yeah, well, this was removed. And I was banned for 6 days because of it. And what is this? Let's see. What is the hate speech here? It says, Allah during the pandemic, not doing anything. After many deaths and scientists finding the vaccine, Alhamdulillah. You know what I mean? Don't forget to say Alhamdulillah. It's where is the hate?
But what is the problem? You know, it is really mind-blowing.
But we have only started, Kemal. Listen to this. So this one went through a long process of saying this is not, and they accepted, and they rejected, and they accepted, and then rejected, and then remove it completely. Okay, take a look. What is hate speech here? How to keep your faith in Allah. If it's something you like, it's from Allah. If it's something you don't like, it's bad luck. See how simple it is?
Yeah, but this is the reality in the,
and it's so innocent. It's so cute and innocent. Yeah,
but they take. I mean, we would examine, me and 3 other admin, to try to learn, and we can't figure out. It became so arbitrary. That's why I called community standards unwritten rules, because we can't tell. And then at one point, a page got completely blocked. That was the ex-Muslim page, memes. And it says unpublished, we're going to unpublish. They kept warning us, and boom, it disappeared. One instance, for instance, it said, this photo is no longer available. And I couldn't understand. This was in Arabic. I translated it. And it said it's showing nudity. But you know what nudity? It's historic photos of slaves showing the women slaves of how they used to treat the Milk al-Yamin in Arabia, photographic evidence. So we start hiding their breasts because this is offending Facebook. But this specific meme closed the page completely. So we're getting all these warnings, and then we put this. And what is it about? It's about Salman Rushdie giving a speech, yeah. And so this was taken from an atheist page, so it wasn't our creation. It was sharing it from an atheist place. And what does it say? Respect for religion has become a code phrase meaning fear of religion. Religions, like all other ideas, deserve criticism, satire, and yes, our fearless disrespect. And after this post, the page got closed.
But did you have some captions, or it was only these quotes?
Yeah, this was the last thing we posted, and the page got closed.
It doesn't make any sense. I mean, I was thrown off of Facebook, and the last things that I was punished for was me showing how Iranian, jihadis, E-jihadists as you call them, in Denmark were like for hatred of Jews and comparing the Star of David with just bad things and putting just talking bad about Jews and Israel, right?
Yeah.
And quoting Hitler as well in the same post.
Oh yeah, you have to be careful there. But Hitler is a big red line with them. Yeah, I know that.
Yeah. But it was not me. I was trying to say, see what they're posting on Facebook, right? And I had put it in my book, and I took a picture of the page in my book where I had, took a screenshot, and it was a screenshot from their posting on Facebook and explaining this, and then Facebook punished me for, citing Hitler. and stuff like that. And they know that I'm not citing Hitler. So it's just an excuse. So they're just looking for,
Any reason.
something to,
They're
any
looking for any
reason.
You're gonna see some more now. You will know for sure that they're looking for any reason.
Yes.
Because one day, I mean, you can see this day. Look at the post. 10th of February 2001, 10th of February 2001, 10th of February 2001, 10th of February 2001, 10th of February. All of them in one single day were hate speech. So let's take a look just at each one of them. And if you see anything hate speech, because by the way, you shared many of them on your page, tell me if you see any hate speech. So this is the first one. Al Jazeera presenter, who told you Allah is above us? Allah is everywhere. Richard Dawkins. No, what was the point of Burak, a horse with wings, if Allah is not above us? And then I add the Quranic verses in the bottom. How is this hate speech?
Even this is from an interview in England, right?
Yes.
This Muslim guy, This
with
is
Al
from one
Jazeera.
interview. Yeah.
Yes. Where's hate speech? Next one. Mo was having problems with unwanted visitors. So he kicks them out and say, Allah, please give me a Quran. And he comes back. Yeah, the visitors come back. So it says, don't visit Mo when he is preparing food. Don't hang about. Eat and leave. Mo is busy. Yeah. Quran 33:53. Hate speech. Okay.
You know why this is hate speech, Hassan? Because this verse is causing millions of ex-Muslims. When they read the Quran, when they begin, this verse is one of the reason many people leaving Islam, because of they see what the heck is this? Why Allah put this verse in the creator of the whole universe, sending us a guidebook and putting this.
The whole chapter 33 is an evidence that Muhammad was writing it, because you wouldn't believe a God at the beginning of the universe wrote on solid plates, tablets, the Quran. This is what we believe, that Muhammad go and marry Zainab, and I'm canceling adoption, having Muhammad been adopting a child for 15 years, and don't visit Muhammad when he's busy and cooking food. He wrote this 15 billion years ago. I mean, it's of course people start asking questions, especially verse 33:50, where it says, "Oh Muhammad, have any woman you like. So any woman who comes and offers herself for you for sex, take her." You know what I mean? It's there. So but let's continue, because we don't want to dwell. This is hate speech. So blessed is Allah, the best of creators, and he clicks send. Damn, I forgot. I'm the only creator. Yes, I mean, where is the hate speech in this one? This is Quran, yeah? This one, Muhammad said, whoever has 7 dates for breakfast, no poison or magic. How did he die? Poison. Yes, I mean, I'm translating it from Arabic. Yeah? Even the Arabic is still in the background. That's hate speech. This one, remember pagans and Romans spread 3 continents and lasted 1,250 years, never needing a divine intervention from Allah. What's wrong with this? I'm just sharing this. This one is very popular. Does anyone still believe that the sun goes to prostrate under Allah's throne after sunset? And I put the hadith.
Yeah.
That the sun goes to knee under Allah's throne. Of course not. But this is apparently hate speech. And the last one, do you think Allah needs you and your prayer? Then he says, why did he create us? Just to pray for him. Yeah. And there's the Quran verse. All these were flagged as hate speech. But
because exposing stupidity of Islam is dangerous for this stupid people. I have to go this niveau. I'm sorry, Hassan. I have to go, because I get really angry inside even right now we are experiencing this censorship. Even right now.
But because you're having an impact, and that's the reality of it. This one was shared on your page. Take a look. Ex-Muslims of Norway. So it is Islam is a religion of peace. You remember, it's Pinocchio, and then his nose gets longer. Yeah. So yeah, all we did is we shared it on the Atheist Republic of Pakistan. We got 30-day ban.
And post was still in our page in
And the post is still on your page. Now explain this.
But
How is it?
The worst thing you can do against a tyrant is to laugh.
Yeah.
It's because they just go merely after if you are being how do you say if people are oh my words
Never.
if in Pakistan in Pakistan if they're saying we don't like this and flagging you, right?
Yes. Yes. Reporting.
Reporting you if they're
Yeah.
doing that in Pakistan, then they go and take you off, punish you in Pakistan. But they don't, if the ex-Muslim group didn't get the same reporting, then it's so ridiculous that
I
they're
mean,
not even they're just going after, so many people, 100 of people, reported this, then there must be a problem,
yeah.
a
Yeah,
punishment.
I have been.
Some of it is like that.
I have been blamed for criticizing Islam only in the recent years. Back in the days, it was all about culture. You can criticize the culture all you like, but you cannot criticize Islam. And nowadays, even if you take Islam out of the mentioning and you just describe the culture, you get banned or flagged or kicked
Yeah.
out of Facebook. Or it is considered hate speech. It's so many people think that if they stop criticizing Islam or welcome Muslims, everything will get better. It's not getting better. It's gonna get worse and worse until you are in that deep problematic situation that causes the refugees.
I really do have, I have this fear that because Westerners, especially Europeans, because they haven't really understood the totalitarianism of Islam, they're just thinking that, it will get better, they will learn, it will, they don't understand the fact that it doesn't get better. You need to have consequences for these things, and you
True.
need to stand for freedom of speech, because it wasn't only Salman Rushdie, it was also the Mohammed drawings in Denmark, it was also Charlie Hebdo, and it was also the killing of the teacher. So now in Denmark they're discussing this this thing now, that teachers are not willing to teach about anything about the Mohammed drawings. They don't want to show them, they don't really actually want to talk about them even, right?
Yeah.
And it is not, that is not even the biggest problem. Some teachers do not want to discuss evolution, some teachers do not want to discuss homosexuality, some teachers do not want to discuss women's rights within Islam, women's rights in Muslim culture. And these are the huge problems we have with integration, is like the control of women within the Muslim communities, and the suppression of women within Muslim communities, homosexuals, and the hatred of Jews. All of these things, even teachers are not able to talk about in classes.
And this is dangerous. Yeah.
It is
This
so
is dangerous.
dangerous.
I mean, it is the problem I face. I mean, I'm a university professor, and I've seen two people convert to Islam, and I can't talk to them to say, "What you doing?" Let me tell you why I left Islam. I'm worried if I speak out, I'll be labeled as Islamophobic. I mean, everyone knows I'm not Muslim. But as long as I've shut my mouth, and I'm at the moment teaching in a Western country, so it is really bad. I agree, and it is very dangerous precedent they're doing. But if I just move on, because it's gonna get even better. So again, we start getting warnings. You can see here you can't invite friends or like your page right now. I'm sure you got some similar stuff. there's this warning. This is almost ridiculous that if anyone tries to come and like our page, they'll get this warning. And I don't know if you're getting it yourself at this point. When you like,
we got before.
okay, you'll see updates for it in your news feed. You may want to review the Atheist Republic of Pakistan to see the type of content. Basically, it's telling you what you're doing is haram. Are you sure you want to go?
Be careful. Do you want to go in this evil page?
Yeah, kafir. You know, what are you doing? It's like, it is fatwa book. We entered the digital jail. The digital jail meaning now, you search for the page, you can't find it.
Yeah.
You have to Google it from outside to find it. You can't actually find it within Facebook. And we just came out of the lockdown, which we were stuck in until the 20th of April. So now things are starting to ease. But for a whole year, we were too careful not to publish anything because we did not want to lose the page completely. We're now coming out of the digital lockdown, and we're going to start publishing a little bit here and there to see how we're going to go, because we don't want the page to close. But in case you thought this is just fatwa book, Shariagram is equally bad. This is what I've been having.
Shariagram, this is the best name.
Yeah, my names are Fatwa Book, Shariagram, and Twitter ban for Taliban, because they kept Taliban on there, so I call them Twitter ban. And we should make these words normal, because then they'll start thinking, what are we doing? Yeah. So they've been warning me, and this is just from 2 days ago, when they took this post out and told me this goes against their community standard. And what is it? It says Muhammad married Aisha at the age of 6 and slept with her at the age of 9. Panic. Yeah. Girls back then matured early, so she was mature, calm. Yeah. And then the last one is she was still playing with dolls when he slept with her. Panic, panic, panic. Yeah. There is nothing. And what they say is that it's bullying. No, listen. On harassment or bullying. Who am I harassing and who am I bullying? I don't understand. So anyway, I appealed. They accepted it. They said, oh, no, we're sorry. Within an hour, they came back and said, no, we're not sorry. We took it out. Within an hour, they took it out. It's just a joke. And then this one, again, this was simply saying the religion of peace, but Sharia is the Islam, and Sharia is the religion of peace. But all Taliban is going to do is apply the Sharia. Why are they running away? If it's the religion of peace, again, they removed it.
Very legitimate question.
There's nothing in there. Again, they're doing the same thing. So something we started picking up is that avoid the word Taliban, Daesh, ISIS. Avoid the word Muslim or Muslims. Avoid terrorism. And try to avoid the word sex or any related word to sex, because they trigger the AI, the artificial. This I can't write the word Muslims normally. So many people are avoiding that. So because I try to keep my work academic, I use the word Islam, Islamic country, Islamic believer, Islamist. These words seems to be going all right. But also you can see that Arabs are starting to spot that, because they've been harassed even more. So they put lines over certain words to stop the AI picking it up. And these are just fun ones. So this is saying, on the left one, it says, when your mother cooks chips with clean oil, and when the restaurant cooks oil with dirty oil, but the dirty one looks a lot nicer, yeah? But they had to put a line over dirty so that the AI wouldn't system go, oh, you said the dirty word, yeah? And here also is a kind of like swearing. It says, the child gets their rizq, which is like God's gift, whether the dollar is 6 pounds, Egyptian pounds, or 18 pounds, yeah? Okay, so let's name motherfucker, something along these lines. Sorry for the language, but they put a line to cover it, yeah? And then the next hadith say, go and work so you can get your rizq, to get your, what the hell, your mother, yes, I mean? So, so they had to cover it again to stop the AI stopping it, because it's rude. Even this one, I mean, I'm always very careful, but this is meant to be parody. not real. So it's just a bit of a joke. Taliban traffic police does not ask for your driving license. Instead, he checks if you can rehearse the da'wah to travel, dua as-safar. If you fail, you get a ticket for dangerous driving under shaitan influence. Yeah, but we had to put a line over Taliban so that it does not trigger the AI. It's just ridiculous the amount of work we have to do. But I mean, what's your thoughts about this issue of having to dodge the system like this?
You know, I don't know. Is it working? Do you know that these people who share like this?
It is for the Arabs.
Are they
I think whatever works for you, you should do it. But of course, if you get reported anyways, but by real people who are offended, then you get reported, right? So I would recommend to have a lot of different platforms, to be active on more platforms, because then we are not as sensitive to the censorship.
I think
I just gotta say this is such a tragic thing, and if there is a politician looking at this, honestly, this is horrible. It should never have been like this. This is I don't even, I get so angry, I just kind of lose the words, but this is prosecution of people who are trying to inform you, to save you. It's horrible letting Facebook have this kind of power over information.
We need to lobby politicians across European countries, and also use the United States, because in the United States they're more like very firm about the freedom of speech, more than they are in European countries, because they can always bend it a little bit. And it's, in the United States, free speech is more holy to them than European countries, and it's so sad that it has to be like this. But we need to lobby and think about how to lobby politicians, because right now they're actually putting more restrictions on social media to censor more. This is what the politicians are doing right now in Europe, and this is a huge problem.
I believe we have to try everything like this, covering the some spells, and of course I see a lot of my friends, they are using when they write Muslim, Islam, something like that, they are using different spells, and maybe it's work. It is best maybe when you do memes. Let's try it. Maybe it will help.
I'll tell you why it works. Because see, the social media don't have the manpower or the human power to go through every report. So the first line of report, and that's why many times they get it wrong and they put it back in, is an artificial intelligence system that reads the post and then looks for these dangerous words like ISIS, terrorism, Taliban, Muslims, because when you're speaking about Muslim, you're kind of targeting people, Jews. One time we got a warning because we used the word Jews, but we were not attacking the Jews. One time one post, and I didn't take a picture because I was so shocked, couldn't believe it. It was pictures of 3 flags, including the LGBT flag, another flag, and ISIS flag, and it said, I forgot what it was about, to be honest. It was copied from another website, and it said how dare, it said that we were using the ISIS as a propaganda. We were not using ISIS as propaganda. We're not the propaganda. We're atheists. What the hell? What's wrong with you people? Yeah. So but it was an AI system that doesn't know. It's just looking for those keywords. So because this is the first line, if the AI reads it and can't find anything dangerous, so they read this one and say, traffic police does not ask for your driving license. Instead, he checks if you rehearse something. They will think, oh, the AI will ignore it and say, no, there's nothing here. Because in this case, you hit the keyword, and that was the word Taliban. You see what I mean? And then they don't classify it under dangerous anymore. So that's where I can see it working. I'm gonna start to adapt it. But I think we need to move as well to video, short videos and stuff. The social media is changing. It's not gonna be image and post sharing anymore. It's one of the reasons why I decided now it's the time to start talking. I'm working on few private projects. I already told Kemal about them, and I'm hoping I'm going to develop them this summer and be able to produce something that will make it even harder to report but easier to share. But I mean, let's conclude this key point is that, of course, you suffered, many people suffered. Harris, for instance, got blocked 30 days on Facebook just for speaking about Asa Bibli being threatened.
Yeah.
He didn't say anything wrong. And this is a typical example. Actually, this was taken from your page when one of your followers, and hid their name, having to respond to how the community standards react. Says, my previous comment apparently violates community standard of Facebook. So they remove that after warning me. So here goes my community standard friendly comment. Islam is never wrong. If Hadith and Quran guide is in such a way, then it's okay to sell slave women, and then it must be so. I mean, it's this, and this wasn't removed.
But the thing is that we are not allowed to criticize Islam. But if we just describe Islam, that's not allowed either. If we write something horrible in Islam and say this must be true because the Quran says so, then that's not right either, because very often the algorithm picks on the hate that is in the hadith and removes it because of that. But then they say that you're not allowed to say that Islam is dangerous or violent. You have to say it's peaceful, even though the algorithm itself couldn't stand the hate that was described through those Quranic verses.
You know, it is tragic and it is sad. We are sitting in the middle of Europe in 21st century and even talking about these things. You know,
I mean, ever since I was very, very young, my mother used to say, I wish I had twisted your neck when you were a baby. And to this day, it's like all my life I have lived with social stigma because of Islam.
Yeah.
But shut up about it. That's what the woke religion tells us today. And I just wanted to say, if you really think about it, the social media platforms are not for free speech. They don't care about free speech because they're there to make money, right?
Yeah.
And if we're standing in the way of them making money because we are filthy in their mind or we're just offending people, right? And they don't want people offending anyone because they want to sell products, right? So they want us out because we are offending people. So they're not for freedom of speech, but there has to be rules in these countries where these these corporations are working like Facebook and Shariagram and so on, because it cannot continue like this. They're not for free speech. They're for selling their ads, but we need our free speech.
I totally agree. You know, Jale, I mean, as ex-Muslims of Norway, I think we have to slowly move from these platforms like Facebook and Instagram, because it is, first of all, it's not good for me, for other people live like this every day, like Hassan explained it. You know, you waking up and open and see if they deactivated his account or not. It is so crazy. You know, I attended to a meeting with free speech committee in Norway by State Department 1 year ago, and I explained that everything. I even mentioned Arabic translated memes and what he said, like Facebook doing like a new strategy they have, like they are killing these ex-Muslim pages slowly, like slowly dead. like Publicum doesn't get any updates, and they are blocking. They are giving Facebook jail to admins.
Yep.
Many things they do, and in the end, like Haram stuff and Atheist Republic of Pakistan, what happened to them is slowly dead. And even Hassan warned me about that. This can be happen, and it can happen. Even they can deactivate. But the problem is, I mentioned to this committee, you know, I said like I heard Poland, they say that they will have a new law which will not allow Facebook to censor anything. If you share something, and if it is allowed in your country by law, it is inside the free speech law.
That makes sense.
Then a company who take your free speech away from you in our country cannot earn any money. If they are earning money, then we have to say them like they will have like judge, and if I win, if I have right and what I said inside the free speech law, then Facebook have to pay to me and put me back. This is a good solution, I think, if they manage that, because you know, Facebook cannot have own free speech laws and Norway can have own, because Facebook is not a private company just for the United States. Today, all debates, all conversations is going on social media platforms, not anymore in the newspaper articles.
Yes,
so some things have to be done.
Kemal, I can hear you're upset, but here's one thing I want to think forward. Facebook is dying anyway. I think Facebook is for the older generation, you know, to help with them. This is probably, there's an expression in English that says you can't teach an old dog new tricks. So I would think the focus should be now to move to younger generation platforms. Your page as well. That's where we can reach open-minded people. I know Facebook was always the strongest, but it is dominated by money from Gulf money and Arab money and Islamic investments and stuff. And maybe we should give up on them in a way. I mean, I still think what you're doing is amazing, but don't.
Yeah, no, I don't want to give up. But I mean, it's like because you know our main.
We should have alternatives.
We have to build up because we don't know what will happen tomorrow. Like right now, I'm upset because really this is crazy. This have never happened to us. But in any case,
this has been my life since January. Just imagine. Everything was taken away from me. Really, because also selling my books, everything, you know, being in communication with people, just even people didn't have my phone number, people didn't have my email, so everything was on Facebook. All of the work that I have done exposing, you know, schools, religious schools, mosques, everything is gone. All of the evidence is gone. You know, it's just so crazy.
But I mean, because you're publicly showing your face and it is your personal profile, you should look into a lawyer and see what you could do. I would have gone with a lawyer if I was able to do that. And I think we should start a GoFundMe account and try to see what we could do there. I mean, because we need to wrap this up, it's getting late here, just to show you, this was, I mean, we kind of create because we're angry with Facebook at the time, because they started doing this false information. We didn't have that on our page, but just as a joke. There's a claim that Mark Zuckerberg has balls, false information. You know, we have double checked that, and the guy has no. It was just, again, we have to make a light-hearted look at where it is, and that's a fact. Actually, if he needs the money coming from the Gulf, he doesn't need us, and we just need to fight it. And I think in any event, Facebook is dying, and we need to start looking somewhere else. And this is still a call for any lawyer out there who wants to come along and make as money that will keep his grandchildren rich. Come talk to me on Instagram if I'm still there. Otherwise, find me on Telegram, and let's get a case. I'm also going to email Camille the updated version of the slides. I think this is the last one. Yeah, this is the last one. So he has a copy of it. All we could do is keep pushing, but I'm optimistic. Look, if you look 10 years ago where we were as an ex-Muslim movement, from apostate prophet to Christian Prince to Abdullah Samir to Harris Sultan to your page here. Let's not leave on a negative note. We are pushing the boundaries every day. Maybe
for sure.
Yeah. Maybe they don't like how quickly we're pushing. Maybe they think we should be patient, but we're not gonna be patient. We're gonna keep pushing and pushing.
We are the intelligent minority that they are oppressing. They pretend like Islam is a minority. There are a billion Muslims. They are not the minority. We are, and we are the ones who are being deprived of our rights.
You know, Hassan, please don't misunderstand me. I'm upset, but I don't want to claim anything that like it is like this is nothing. You know, this what we are doing is you know, when I think other ex-Muslims in Muslim countries,
exactly
how much they are suffering. You know, I know the Pakistani free thinkers group.
We are living in Jannah. we are living in Jannah.
You know, I'm not claiming,
you know, compared to those people.
And I will never give up. I will never, and we will never do that.
Yes,
I'm just,
of course
I get upset, and it is normal. It is understandable, I think.
Yeah.
But like Pakistani free thinkers group, I think it is the 12th or 13th time they have opened it. And they had like over 40,000 members in this group.
Yeah.
I followed them many years, and the founder and one of the admin is my very good friend. You know, in this group, when this group once exposed, I think they arrested 4 persons who live in Pakistan. The other ones living in the Europe. You know, one of them is Ayaz Nizami, and they have been jailed since 2017, I believe. And they will be in jail maybe in all their life. So we have to never give up, because you know, I have been cheated by a lie in all half of my life. And I think my mother's life, my grandmother's life, and the other people's life. Why we have to live with a lie, even not just psychic harm, but physical harm you get from this ideology. At least I can say circumcision. I've been circumcised. Why? I thought all the time that it is holy command from
Allah.
Desert God Allah. It is not even that, you know. It is a lie they are living in, and we want to we want to wake people. They can believe whatever they want, but we want that there will be freedom to leave this cult if people want to live. And
also we have an obligation. I think we have an obligation, because we have we have the means to also expose the crimes of Islamists in Islamic countries and outside of Islamic countries. I feel this is why I keep on doing this, because I feel an obligation, because we compared to people living in Muslim countries, we still have our freedoms, we still have our security, we have it's a relative to them. We do have it still, right? So we need to we need to do whatever we can for the cause, because people are suffering, risking their lives.
And we're succeeding. I mean, let's not forget, as much as things seem as times hard. Did you just saw the screenshot of 500,000 people in 1 week reaching our memes? And these are the ones who are sharing, not copying the memes. Your page is making massive waves. I get to see, I share the meme, and then I don't know who in your group. I think it's Kemal goes back in date and picks up the ones from 3 months or 4 months
Yes.
ago. Yeah. But then I see those which I posted 4, 5, 6 months everywhere on multiple, the ex-Muslims of Sri Lanka, the ex-Muslims of, they're copying, and they're not sharing, they're actually copying it and storing it. This has now become a database of being shared and shared.
But
So,
do you know, Hassan, it is not, you know why we are sharing old ones? It is not because of old ones, just to have a control, you know?
Yeah.
Because we would we go back your beginning and start there and have a like system. So we are coming to new one. We are coming there, but it will take time.
Take your time. I'm just saying, I know it's not coming from my page. That's my point. Is that I know it's not my page because these were posted 3 months ago, and then you share it, and then suddenly everyone is sharing it, and everyone is.
And I see too. You know, I'm. You know, I enjoy so much to comments section. There are a lot of ex-Muslims with knowledge. They are discussing with Muslims and non-Muslims, and all of them. You know, a lot of time I'm laughing so much, and it is funny, and it is also educational. You know, I just want to show a little bit before live streaming started. I just go back and find some screenshots what's happened to us. You know, this meme, we did it, and it is actually not just satire. The right side is satire. Yes, Islam is the pioneer of women rights. They still exactly the same. They have exactly the same rights, like, but there they are stupid anyway. This is Bukhari, the Hadith book says that, not we. And they are worth of half as much as men. Quran says that. All these things like knowledge and education, actually. But what happened after this? You know, I get 30 days and not 3 days first, but later this is the same in Instagram and Facebook, both of them, and they later they put down like our page quality down, and science that they put like this page isn't being suggested to people at this time. When I clicked there, it was I didn't find the picture, but it was like they put down 50% of our publicum down. That half of them doesn't even get updates. And how we can see that? You see there, before this, it was like 406,000. And today's is like this. You know, if you see 1,000 likes on one meme, you have to think it should actually be 2,000. And it is really.
Well, I mean, see, here's my view. They do this, but you know, it's not quantity; it's quality. So what the people are following you don't care whether it's suggested or not. They come to your page because I do that. So I know around at night when you actually post. So if I don't see it, I click on the link to go and see which one are you posting today. And because sometimes I forget them, I start laughing.
And many people, I'm reading. Somebody says, "I'm waiting tomorrow night."
And they copy them.
We have to trust that people will come and search for these things. And if we have an alternative online, have our own websites, then we have a double secured, secured our content double. So I think we need to think about these ways.
And one day we wake up and suddenly saw that our Instagram page is gone.
Yes,
it is gone. And it was done in this time. It was public. It was not private. Then we had like more than 3,000, I believe, followers. It's gone. So we have to open a new one. And even you promoted this. You know, this I took just. You know, it's funny. I shared once in 2009. Atheist meme. It's nothing about Islam, actually. It's like humans waiting to be brainwashed. Even this was 30 days. I was out of Facebook. You know, this one is interesting. Like you mentioned it, you know, even in Pakistan they have like they shadow it. This, after the teacher have been killed by
Killed,
one
yeah.
extremist. Yes. Then France put caricature of Muhammad on the state buildings,
Yeah,
and these pictures was not allowed to show in
Pakistan.
Pakistan. So we know who they are collaborating with.
Mm.
And this is today, just 1 hour, maybe half hour before we start this streaming. I think this is the reason right now they are not allowing streaming go on their site, even if I publish from our YouTube channel. And this was, you are telling here that every time we coming with evidence about bad things, wrong things in Islam from Quran and Hadith, they call us, you are a Jew, you are CIA agent, and they do this. I have many messages
I know.
from many Muslims.
But the latest thing I started to laugh, Jamal. There was this one message we got where someone is calling us pedophiles,
Yeah,
and I
yeah,
said,
yeah. And
I
I
said to
don't want,
I
even
said
I
to
don't.
Christian, I don't think this guy knows what the word means.
Yeah,
You should tell him like the prophet.
yeah, you like your prophet. Yeah, right.
See, when I used to have my public page, they would come to me and say, "Oh no, you're lying. You're a Hindu. You're blah blah blah." And then I recite the Quran, right? Say, pick a verse, and they'll say, "Okay, Surah Al-Kafirun." I'll say, "La abudu ma ta'budun wa la antum," and they're like, "What? Oh, no, you're Arab Christian or you're Jewish Christian. It doesn't matter what I said," and I'll say, "But I know these. I can recite this. I can show you the hadith." They didn't care. So sometimes there is those people, their belief, and maybe I could relate, and we should all be able to relate. The first time they discovered that someone could leave Islam is a very dangerous moment for them, because they thought for all their life Islam is perfect. All they hear is about all these Westerners converting to Islam, and Islam is the ideal message. They can't even comprehend that one person could leave. That's a big shake.
Yeah.
for their faith.
I have experienced it too. When truth is revealed for me, it was very difficult to accept it.
Yeah.
In the beginning, then just okay, don't think about that. Okay, don't practice Islam, but don't need to say anything. Just have like Allah in somewhere behind. In any case, and I think I'm done. Yes, it's nothing there more. Just I want to show this.
Thank you.
I think before we slowly go finish, but let's talk a little bit more. I just wanted. I heard you said, Hassan, like red line between a moderate Muslim and jihadist. Because when I heard you said this, then I remembered I said this too some years ago. Actually, not some years ago, when we start ex-Muslims of Norway, in one of my speech, then some Islam experts from left wings, who was actually terrorist when he was young, he from Norway, he traveled to Israel to put a bomb in the city. Now he's a professor. He said that like I don't know anything and I'm like hateful. I just wanted. I talked about my life. I felt when I was young, it was a red line. When I could be a jihadist, if circumstances were in place, and when you say this, it is true. We don't say that Muslims like can be jihadists tomorrow. No, I don't mean this. But what do you think about, because many Muslims, I believe many Muslims actually ignorant about their belief. They know certain things, like God is one, pray 5 times, if you can, go to Friday mosque and doing Hajj when you're old before you die, etc. But if they really read and investigate, research their religion, then, like you said, they have a two choice. Either you left Islam or you became a jihadi.
Yes.
right?
I mean, it's a thin line is the word, and the thin line is that we are luckily, I think, and that's why I keep saying that Islam, most Muslims are better than Islam, is that we're taught from a young age to look at the peaceful side of Islam. And we're taught to keep an eye on that, because I grew up believing that it's all about not lying, not stealing, not doing this, not doing that. There's nothing wrong in any of that. And even when you go through teenage years, it's not to do anything wrong, not to be tempted, just fast and pray. For 15 years of my life, I fasted and prayed and never missed anything. But I never actually sat down and researched the Quran. It was like, this is given, this is correct, and this is the right way, and there's no need to look into this anymore. And that was fine to me. But here's where the thin line happens. And it happens more often with the converts, I notice, if you look into it, is that they become keen to learn more. They want to become more Muslim than the Muslim. And this is when they go down the route. Because once you go down that route and start researching it, this is when you have the line. You either go left or right. Either you leave Islam, like Musa, the guy who just left Islam, who used to be a fundamentalist. Let me just quickly get you his name. The one who...
From Australia, right?
Yeah, the Australian one who was on their... I know it, but now his name, I lost his name. Okay, so for instance, you either leave or stay, or you become either you become a fundamentalist or you leave Islam. And I think this is a choice we had to do. But there is always those who just want to believe it, regardless of what you try to tell them. And in one debate I had with one Islamist, we went for 3 days on talking, and every point he raised, I debunked him and showed him that this wasn't true. And he was a nice, decent guy. There was no arguing or shouting. It was just nice chat on Instagram. And then we ran out of things, and I said to him, do you still believe in Islam? And he said, yes. I said, so what would ever change your mind? Let's say we find a time machine and we go back to Muhammad's time. And you see that everything I said, because he agreed with me that Muhammad slept with Aisha when she was young. And you see this, would you still change your mind? If Muhammad himself told you, I made it all up, would you still believe in Islam? And he said, yes. I can't imagine waking up without Islam. And some people just need it, and you just can't get through to them. And you just have to accept it in a way. But we are not for them. We are for the ones who want to know the truth.
But in any case, I believe you have put some doubts heads in his head. I believe more common sense, actually. So one day, maybe one day, these things will help, because when I was a kid, really small things had a huge impact on me. I realized this later in my life. Small things. Somebody said something, I ignored it, but I didn't care. But it was there, and it came one day. Even I have to go and search what this guy actually said to me in this time, like these things. So I think you have impact in any case. Or I believe. People will wake up in any case. I believe that.
I hope so.
I hope. Maybe we will not see that.
I hope that you will come back and join us another time. It was so nice speaking to you, and
thank you.
Learning about your journey and also your work and activism. I think it's such a good work that you have been doing, and keep it up, and let us stay in touch as much as possible.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I actually missed out on some of the starting there because of technical difficulties. So I'm going to go back and watch it later today.
Thank you.
And Habibi, last words. Have you some? Because it was not many questions. It was only comments, and I shared it.
Yeah,
so
that's all right. That's all right. I mean, it's delight to be here. And it was great opportunity to share my experience with you all. I hope in the next few years, when I become independent, and I'll be able to also be showing my face. It's something I'm actually planning for. But academia is still that area that is very challenging to be open. It's really bizarre. But yes, I'd love to be back, hopefully on more positive notes when we share a funny. I would like one day to do the best, funniest 20 memes and have a laugh together. This is how we're gonna fight Islam. Honestly, and this is how we can open people's mind. In a study of flat Earth believers in the USA, they tried every piece of science with them, but because it's belief, it's not about science. They couldn't get through to any of the 30 people they were trying to talk to. But then when they showed them funny memes, this is what made me start this journey, by the way, as a professor. Why would I go down this route? When they showed them funny memes, mocking them about the Earth being flat and all the other planets are circle, and saying, "Oh, this is odd," or all they have the moon cover with a line in it. They managed to change 19 of the 30 people to re-question their belief. So this satire, this laugh, has an impact because they make you go back and think. And we need to keep doing that. We should keep pushing for it. And thank you so much.
Yeah. And I also think that humor is also, and also showing the love, because I love it when Jamal always says that we love Muslims. This is why we do it, because we want them to do better in life. We want them to have all of the freedoms and the rights, and modernity and so on.
Yes.
This is why we do it. And I think when you open up the love and also the humor that you use in your memes, it's a piece of that, right? You're not being hostile towards Muslims. And this is just doing that. It opens up people's hearts, even if they're logically they think, oh, haram, shaitan, and so on. Humor, gets in there anyways.
Yeah, I agree. There's a very nice quote by Harris that said, every Muslim has great potential to become an ex-Muslim. And it's a very beautiful quote that I actually shared many times, because it really points the fact that this is what we're doing, and that's summary of what you're saying. But it'll be a delight. Thank you so much, everyone, for hosting me. We are a family. This is what this is what we can take out of it. We are building a bigger network of family, and for me, you are all also my family.
It was wonderful to have you, Hassan, and sorry for what Facebook did to us today. I see
no worries.
There is red.
It shows that it's working. It shows that what we're doing is working.
We need to make clips, we need to make clips of this and also share it as much as possible as the whole hour, or sorry,
yes,
2
we
hours.
have to do. The biggest things is like we have problem with time. I hope we will start sharing these memes on Twitter continuously, like every day. There too, we have to do something. Because they have huge impacts, like you say, and we see this.
True,
and I have big belief to these things because of it. Like I said before, many people doesn't read big books, even not their holy books. And they don't watch like 2 hours. Many Muslims don't watch like these programs 2 hours. But they see the memes, the funny memes, and in the same time, they like memes forcing them to read the caption. And this is the huge thing and very good thing, and nice to have you, and thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
And see you in next episode, and we have to have you again. Okay,
I promise.
Yes,
thank
you have to promise.
and
yes.
bye bye.
Bye bye. Bye bye.